Hi everyone, I'm Sophia. Today we're going to do a little bit of a neck and shoulder release using Pilates. This video has been requested, so I hope you enjoy it and that it hits the spot. So let's come onto our mats and bring ourselves into a comfortable seated position. So I'm going to cross my legs just because this is what feels comfortable for me. But sit comfortably and make sure that you're starting in a neutral pelvis position or as close as you can get, and you can use cushions or blocks or a prop to sit you up, so you can sit on a chair or a ball or whatever you've got really. And then we're just going to let the shoulders settle down and find a sense of lift through the back of the head, neck and throat. And just take a moment to align the body, so you might rock forwards a little bit and then back, and just find that point in the pelvis where you feel fairly well balanced. Make sure that you've got even weight in left sit bone and right sit bone. And then from here we're going to let our eyes close and just tune into the breath. So the breath can be a really easy and nice way to release tension, particularly from the neck and shoulders. So just take a few rounds of breath, breathing into the back of the body, feeling the expansion of the ribs and lungs. And then as you exhale, just feel that little bit of connection in the tummy, but notice that you're still relaxed. We're not using masses of effort. So inhale, breathe into the back of the body. Exhale, find that connection. Just do a few more rounds of breath here. Keep lifting through the back of the head and neck. Really bringing your focus inwards. And then when you're ready, we're going to start doing little circles with our nose. So just tiny circles. And circling the end of your nose around a little P. So imagine a P and start to draw a tiny circle. And then let that circle gradually get bigger and bigger. Until you find your maximum range of movement. So just gradually increase the size of your circles. Keeping the movement feeling light. Breathing steady and smooth, so don't forget to breathe. Then when you found your maximum range of movement, we're going to pause at the top and then change the direction, and this time we're going to come back, starting with a big circle and then reducing it little by little until you come back to your P. Just letting your head feel light and the movement feel effortless and smooth. So we're not forcing anything, it's not clunky. Good. And then when you find your P, just let your head settle on the top of your neck. Lift through the back of the head and neck. Find that sense of elongation working right down through the spine. And allow the shoulders to melt away from the ears. When you're ready, open your eyes. Come back in the room, and then from here we're going to gently squeeze the shoulders up to our earlobes, just letting our hands relax, and then release the shoulders down again. So squeezing the shoulders up and then releasing the shoulders all the way down, back down again. And again, you're working for that maximum range of movement that you can find comfortably, so there's nothing uncomfortable about this. Just smooth movements, really squeezing and releasing. Let's do two more like this. And then we're going to turn our shrugs into circles. So we're going to squeeze the shoulders up and roll the shoulders around, down and back. So we're again working for the biggest range of movement you've got today. Notice if it feels even on both sides or if you're slightly unbalanced. Don't worry about it, just observe it. Check in with yourself. Notice if perhaps you're carrying more tension on one side compared to the other. Good, but just trying to work the shoulders evenly for the moment. And then from here we're going to draw both shoulders down into our back, letting the shoulders really fall away from the ears. Lift through the top of the head and neck, and then we're going to gently ease our ear over towards our shoulder, finding that nice stretch in the side of the neck. So drawing both shoulders away from the ears, keeping your shoulders as level as you possibly can. And then again, breathe steady and smooth. So breathing into the back of the ribs and lungs, letting the breath do all the work. Good. Inhale into the back of the body. Exhale. Let your face relax as you sigh the air out. One more. And then when you're ready, rebuild the spine, come all the way back to the centre, and then take your ear the other way. So gently letting your earlobe come down towards your shoulder. Encourage that stretch in the side of your neck. And then focus yourself on your breath. Allow the breath to do the work. Let the breath relax the central nervous system and dispel as much tension as possible. Let's do one more round of breath here. Lovely. And then gently bring yourself back to the centre. From here, we're going to reach the arms out just in front of our knees if you've got crossed legs, or just gently wide of the pelvis. We're then going to inhale, prepare. As you exhale, float the arms up. Let the shoulders fall away from the ears, and then bend at the elbows, shrug your shoulders up to meet your ears, release the shoulders all the way down, float the arms up and release the arms down. So a bit like a corkscrew. Squeeze the shoulders up, relax those shoulders down, float the arms up and release. So what we're trying to do is find the full range of movement of the arm inside the shoulder before we then shrug the shoulders. So we're separating out those movements. We're not shrugging the shoulders as we float the arms. We're keeping the movements quite separate. Good. And just making sure that we've got that full range of movement. As you move the arms, we want the body to stay still and stable. Last one, and release the arms all the way back down. Lovely, well done. So from here we're going to come into a side reach. So again, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, keep the lift of the crown of the head, so lifting as much as you can through the body and spine, creating length. We're going to inhale to float one arm up, so as the arm floats, the shoulder draws down and back. And then as you exhale, we're going to come over, gently flexing the spine. Try to look up towards the ceiling rather than collapsing. Inhale, hold it. Both sit bones are nice and heavy. Exhale, let's come back to the centre and release the arm down. Inhale, float the other arm up. Exhale, let's take it over. Stretch that body. Good, looking up towards the ceiling, chest is open. Inhale, hold, exhale to return. Let's keep it going. Good, try and find that feeling of lift. So imagine you've got helium balloons under each rib or side of your ribs, and as you come over, one is floating up higher, fanning the rib cage. Inhale, hold, exhale, return. Both sit bones are evenly weighted, so the pelvis isn't going to move. Good, lovely. Let's do one more on each side. And then last one. Good, and then return to the centre. From here, let's come up onto our knees. So into a high kneeling position, and we're going to organise the pelvis as close to neutral as you possibly can. So we want the hips open, that sense of length working through the lower back. And our waist is nice and active. Arms are going to reach down by our sides, and then from here we're going to inhale and press the arms back, and then exhale, float the arms up and over, so a rib cage closure. So the aim of the exercise is to maintain your stability through the body and spine as you gently work the arms in both directions. Good. Work to your maximum range of movement. So you can float the arms as high as you can possibly without letting the rib cage pop. So it's more about how far can you go maintaining your stability than how far can you go generally. And it's the same in the other direction. So how far can you take those arms back, maintaining your alignment and posture. Good. On the next one, we're going to take the arms behind and hold. Good. We're going to inhale in the middle. As you exhale, gently turn your head, look over one shoulder. Keep lifting through the back of the head and throat. Inhale, come back, and then exhale, look the other way. Inhale, come back, float the arms up, and then press back. This time we're going to look the other direction first. So exhale to turn your head, reach through the arms. Inhale, return, and then exhale, turn your head. Good. And return to the centre, float the arms up. And then we're going to look the First side first again, so gently turning your head, maintain the position of your pelvis and spine. And come back, float the arms up. Last one. Inhale in the middle, exhale, turn your head. Inhale, get taller. Exhale, turn the other way. And return to the centre, let the arms relax down. Lovely, well done. So let's come now onto our side. So I'm going to stack my legs at the front edge, so my shins are going to marry up to the front edge of the mat, and then I'm going to lay my head on my arm just while I begin to find a comfortable position. So organising the pelvis in neutral, you want one hip stacked directly on top of the other. The waist is active, so we're not going to be collapsed into the mat. We've still got that sense of lift happening in our core. And then we're going to bring both arms out in front of us and let our head rest onto the mat. If this isn't comfortable for you, by all means use a cushion or a block to support you. We're now going to slide the top arm in front, keeping that lift in the centre of the waist, and then we're going to draw a line up and overhead, so we're keeping the fingers in contact with the mat or the floor if we possibly can, as we begin to draw our circle, reaching that arm behind us. Good, finding that nice stretch over the chest, keeping the thumb in sight, circling the arm all the way around. So you're using the maximum range of movement you've got available today. Finding the rotation of the spine, keeping the lift of your waist. Let's keep it going. Get really enjoying that stretch. Good, let's change the direction. So coming back to the centre, slide the hand away, down over the hip this time. Right behind you, look for your thumb, take the arm all the way up and around. And again, breathing steady and smooth as you work your arm in the maximum range of movement you've got available for you today. So if that's slightly reduced, that's fine. Let your head rest on the mat or your block. And then when you're ready, gently release. Good. Carefully bring yourself up so that you're seated. Lovely, and then we're going to come over the other side, so stacking your legs at the front edge of your mat, your body at the back edge of your mat. Take a moment to organise yourself, so hips stacked, shoulders stacked, waist switched on. Let your head rest on your block or your cushion or your mat if you're comfortable. And then from here we're going to inhale to slide the top arm away from you, reach that arm all the way up and overhead, really stretch the body, enjoy the movement. Take the arm down and around. Good, so we're going to go for 3 in each direction, keeping your thumb gently in sight, so making sure not to go beyond where you're comfortable. And then last one. Really opening that chest, rotating the spine, keeping the waist active. Then we're going to go the other direction, so taking the hand down and over your hip, all the way up and behind you, circling that arm, and again. And then last one. And then gently coming back to the centre when you're ready. Lovely. So easing yourself up, making sure to be careful. We're going to come into a seated position and then come into a little bit of upper back extension. So again, I'm using crossed legs, but please sit comfortably. Make sure that you're in as close to neutral pelvis as is possible. We're then going to inhale here. As you exhale, we're going to lift our nose and our gaze and gently find a little bit of extension. And then slowly come back to the centre. So the thing to watch out for with this exercise is that we're keeping the length of the back of the neck, so we're not looking up at the ceiling. We want to keep that sense of elongation working from the crown of the head to the tip of our tailbone. And to make it a little bit more challenging, you might like to lift the hands behind the head and neck, but making sure we're free from any tension in the shoulders. Good, and again we're going to lift up, lift the heart, the neck, the nose. You could take those elbows wide slightly if it feels good, but only if it feels good. And trying to keep the pelvis as still as you possibly can. So this is an upper back extension, not a lower back extension. Good. I quite like hands behind the head because for me it reminds me not to collapse into the back of my neck, so to keep that little chin to chest activation. Good, let's do 2 more here. Lovely, and then last one. And then from here, we're going to find that lift in the body and spine, nod the head, flex the neck and gently round forwards, keeping that lift again in the lower back, but just finding a gentle, comfortable stretch. And then release, uncurl the spine. Float the arms up and release the arms down. So from here, we're going to go into a nice exercise for rotating the spine. So we're going to take the hands out in front of us. We're going to allow the shoulders to fall away from the ears, so you've got that nice long appearance of the neck. We're then going to take our left thumb to our left collarbone. We're going to turn our head, rotate the spine, look over the elbow, open the arm wide to the side, and then come back to the centre with a straight arm. And again on the right side, right thumb to right collarbone, look at your elbow, gently rotate the spine, open the arm wide, and then come back to the centre. So we're just finding that nice rotation of the body and spine. So I'm using an exhale to twist, an inhale to open the arm, and an exhale to come back. But as long as you're breathing and not holding your breath, it's all good. So we're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And again, let's do 1 more on each side. And then gently come back and relax the arms down. Lovely. So from here, we're just going to come down onto our mat now. And we're going to line the heels up with the sit bones. And take a moment to find our neutral position. So hip bones, pubic bone are level with the mat, respecting the natural curvature of your spine, arms reaching down by your sides. Inhale here. As you exhale, we're going to tuck the tailbone, push the knees away from you and find that opening in the front of the hips. And then begin to peel yourself away from the mat, activating the glutes, pushing the knees and thighs away, finding that articulation of the spine. Inhale here, neutral at the top, and then exhale, we're going to peel back down again. So every vertebra, bone by bone, the back of the ribs, the top of the waist, mid-waist, lower waist. Inhale into neutral at the bottom, exhale, tuck, scoop, hollow roll, really work for the articulation of the spine. Push the knees away from you, inhale, and then exhale, we're going to roll down. So for me personally, I always think that whenever I'm trying to mobilise the shoulders and release tension, I always like to do a little bit through the whole length of the spine, just to fully mobilise, as I find this really helpful for reducing tension. So more of a kind of global look at the body than just isolating to one bit. And then we're going to roll up to the top and hold as long as that feels comfortable. If it feels like too much effort, you can always bring your pelvis back down to the mat, so holding a neutral position on the mat if you prefer. We're then going to float the hands up. We're going to inhale, prepare. As you exhale, we're going to reach both hands up towards the ceiling, trying to touch the ceiling, and then draw the shoulders back down to the mat. And again, let's lift the arms up and draw the shoulders back down to the mat. Do 1 more like this. And then draw the shoulders down. Keep the elbows softly bent and then open the arms wide, coming into a fly. We're keeping the arms active. We're not letting them rest completely on the mat. We're going to squeeze the shoulders up and then release the shoulders down and open the arms wide, opening the chest. Let's keep it going. Keep those hips open, working for a little bit of endurance into the glutes. Good. Try and tuck that tailbone, keep the hips open. Let's do 1 more here. Reach the arms wide, get to stretch the arms wide and roll yourself down bone by bone. Lovely. Returning yourself to a neutral position. Let's take the arms now long down by your side, and we're going to gently do a little bit of hip mobility. So we're going to imagine that we've got a marble on the front of the pelvis. We're going to roll that marble up to our belly button and then round the outside edge of the pelvis. So if you imagine that the pelvis is a clock face, we're going to roll a marble around the outside edge of that clock face. And I want you to visualize that you're pressing every number of the clock into your mat. And notice which numbers feel a little bit more sticky, a little bit more difficult to mobilise. Good, let's pause at 12 o'clock, so our belly button, and then work in the other direction, just gently articulating the pelvis. Breathing steady and smooth. And then when you're ready, make this your last one. Come all the way back to 12 o'clock and then roll the marble back to the middle. From here, we're going to gently bring ourselves over onto one side and bring ourselves up so that we're seated in a comfortable position. Just take a moment to check in with yourself. So I like to close my eyes and come into the body and just take a few moments to register what I've done. So taking a few rounds of breath here, noticing how I feel, any shift or change. Tune into the breath, so breathe into the back of the body and let the exhale feel as effortless as possible. With every exhale, try and let the shoulders soften. Good, well done. Just take a moment to be grateful for all your body enables you to do, no matter how big or small that might seem. Thank you for joining me today. Well done, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.